Hey everyone, welcome to day 32. We are almost a third way through our journey. And today is a Monday, so we're doing Metrics Monday. So let me share a little bit about what we got to last week. So last week, our team reached out to 15 different brokers. Out of those, we were able to screen 24 deals in our markets and then fully underwritten eight of them. And then we submit three letter of intent, verbal letter of intent to brokers. And that was our number last week. Let me share a little bit about how that number is compared to last week. So what we usually do is one, we always track, right, what we're doing on a weekly basis. We track how it is compared to the week before. And to go from there, just kind of get a sense of how we're doing, anything that needs to be adjusted, and anything that can help us move things forward. So with that, I'm just going to open up the floor for everyone to share what's there for them as they look at the numbers and what's coming up for them.
Well, we
Yeah, go ahead, Mom.
obviously, hopefully, something comes along that pencils out better because we're doing the numbers. I know I was a little slower this week, but overall, we're doing the numbers. We just don't have that PSA yet. So we've got to find some things, just keep plugging away until we find the one that works for us and we could start getting to a PSA.
Yeah, agreed. I know, in our conversations, we were talking about how this seemed like a slower week with certain broker engagements, and everything. I think our numbers, as far as I know, with the deals underwritten, we were right on target there, I think. And also like the verbal LOIs, in my opinion, like we're getting them out there. We're having discussions with the brokers. We're keeping the relationships going. So even though the moms kind of felt like maybe they weren't in that space of as much broker engagement, I think there was a lot of engagement behind the scenes with like other people and good broker engagements for us to then do, because we still have properties in the tracker that we are going to analyze or things that we have screened and analyzed. So overall, I think it was a good week. I think we are getting to that number where we're about to pop with a property that's coming forward. I have that intention that it's there, like already somewhere it's there. And I feel like it is right there. I just don't know which one is going to shake out and where it's going to be. So when I look at that, as much as I know the conversation was like, oh my gosh, we were a little slow or whatever, I think we're right there. And I think it was really good engagements with the brokers and with property management and the team to really kind of move the tracker, move us forward.
I think something else to note from this past week is we spent a lot of time on one particular property that we thought was really going to be something. And then, you do even more due diligence on it and you recognize, okay, this isn't something that we want to do. It had a lot more legwork than a normal property, just because it had an HOA attached to it, So I think it was a very great learning experience for us because we got to learn about something that Selena's probably sitting there being like, I told you guys, don't get into it. And I actually said to her, I'm like, Selena, do you feel like you had one of those mom moments where you like, I told you so? But no, I think like on all ends, like we all learned a lot this week on that one particular property that we will then be able to take forward and apply to everything else. So while I felt like it was a little bit slower on my end with underwriting and all of that, if I look back on the week, I put less time into the multifamily aspect of my life. It was a lot of time was designated to this one property and having lots of conversations with the group and the individual who brought it to us and just learning and honing in on it. Still, I would say a really great week for us. Just, great in a different way than, maybe we saw it being great.
Yeah, it was a productive week. So I'll say that it was really a very good productive week. And from the aspect of, mom, who is normally the creative and think outside the box, was kind of like, I don't know about but it was good because it gave us more information. It got us to look at it differently. It got us to analyze something new. And in hindsight, mom's skepticism in that propelled us to like kind of dive a little deeper. And for us as a team, it wasn't the right fit. Although, it's still going to be possibly a great deal for the person who we are so grateful who brought it to us. So.
I think that one of the things too that you see is it's just like everything in business. You'd let the highs be not so high and the lows be not so low, stay consistent, and we are. I think it also showed our willingness and ability to keep our investors in mind first, that we only will get involved with properties that we are confident will deliver long term, and we're not afraid to walk away. So if we take anything from this week, okay, we all took time for family. We slowed down on numbers a bit. We put a lot into one area. It didn't work out, but that's okay. We're still doing the right things, and I feel pretty good about it all.
And just to address my skepticism, Dawn knows I've seen some of these issues before. There were reasons that I felt it wasn't the right thing for us, but then they were convincing me on some of the areas that no, I could have been wrong with this particular one. It just panned out that no, it wasn't for us overall.
Awesome. Love it. So what I'm hearing, kind of the biggest takeaway that I got was one, I mean, this is why we work in teams, right? We have complementary experience. We have check and balance. We have we're not just on the same page, right? If we're all working the same way, then why would we have partners at all? So this is why I love working in teams, having different opinions, and then having enough respect for each other so that we can essentially, okay, great, we'll just keep going. And then until we get the data, we get the facts, and then we look all at it together. So I love that part of working in a team, and that's how we work so well together.
If I can interrupt, also something I think, Dawn and I spent a good amount of time talking about too. Just from this one property, we saw how much time we put into it, and it really made us aware of, when that next property does come along, that is our property. We still have to do the acquisitions piece of stuff and the underwriting, because we have to keep that wheel turning so that down the road we get another property. We can't stop our funnel because we got one property. And I think that's something, I think it allowed us to all realize that too. Just because we've got one right now that we have to put a lot of energy into, it doesn't mean we can stop all the other parts of the process. So I think, again, like I said, it was a great learning experience. So, and it really taught us a lot in so many different avenues.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And yeah, that was bringing me to also the second point. What you said there, Em, is like, why you and Don was spending a lot of time on that. Chris, Alina, and I are still doing out funnel. So that funnel is keep going. We're still filling the tracker. So that is going. We're not stopping and pausing and restarting that whole piece. And I think the piece I also want to emphasize is I think everyone who's watching, we're on a multifamily size deal when it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. There's a lot of details that going into place. If you remember looking at the sheet so far on day 32, we're screened 140 deals so far, and we're still 0 for 0 for PSA. So this is really important for you guys to think that, if you're used to real estate, even on a single family side, this number might surprise you. But this is just a amount of work that it takes to get something that makes sense on the larger multifamily side. We certainly have economy of scales, but we also have a lot of things that we need to take into account. So I think if you're out there and you consider investing in multifamily, I would say now is a great time to reach out and chat, because once we get something in a contract, things moving really quickly. And as you can see, it takes a lot of time to get under contract. So I wouldn't wait. Definitely reach out to any of us so that we can actually talk and see if this is a good fit. So that when probably call me maybe at one of those. So like whenever a property is getting a contract, you are educated and you are ready to move along, because like I said, it takes a lot of time to get any of this under contract. So that is it for our Monday metrics. If you guys are brokers or sellers and you guys want to chat to us about your property, we would love to, chat and share what we're up to. Any question at all, we're always happy to chat. Have a wonderful week, and I'll see everyone tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.